Hi, this is Eileen. Once again, Disney has made headlines with its live-action remake of Snow White, but probably not in the way they hoped. This isn't just a movie anymore, it's a full-blown cultural debate. The studio that brought us some of the most beloved stories in cinematic history now finds itself entangled in controversy, one that could potentially tarnish its legacy. Fans, critics, and even casual observers are all asking the same question. What is Disney doing? On one side, we have a movie with a staggering budget of nearly $300 million. On the other, a fan base growing increasingly frustrated, accusing Disney of losing touch with the magic that made its classics so cherished in the first place. And at the heart of the storm, Rachel Zegler, the actress portraying Snow White. Her comments have taken this heated debate and turned it into a blazing inferno. But let's take a step back, because this controversy isn't just about one actress or one film. It's about Disney's struggle to balance cutting-edge innovation with its timeless heritage. Is this bold gamble worth it? Or is Disney risking its magic touch with Snow White 2025? Let's rewind the clock to 1937, the year Walt Disney introduced Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs to the world. This wasn't just another movie, it was a groundbreaking achievement that changed the film industry forever. Not only was it the first full-length animated feature, but it also set a gold standard for storytelling, innovation, and emotional resonance. With its unforgettable music, iconic characters, and timeless message now, Snow White didn't just become a blockbuster, it laid the foundation for the Disney empire. It paved the way for classics like Cinderella, The Little Mermaid, and countless other princess tales cherished by generations. But times change, and with the modern era came immense pressure to reimagine these classics for today's audiences. Disney faced the challenge of keeping these stories fresh and relatable while honoring the spirit of the originals. For a while, they struck a fine balance. Movies like Aladdin and Beauty and the Beast brought contemporary updates without losing their magic. Fans embraced these reimaginings, and when Disney announced a live-action Snow White, the anticipation was sky high. But here's where things got tricky. When you tinker with a story as beloved as Snow White, there's little room for error. Casting Rachel Zegler, an actress fresh off her breakout role, to play one of the most iconic characters in cinematic history, that's a bold move. And it's safe to say the stakes have never been higher. Stay tuned, because we're just scratching the surface of this story. The road from respect to reinvention is a treacherous one, and Snow White 2025 is proof of just how risky that journey can be. What was supposed to be a dream come true for Rachel Zegler and Disney quickly turned into a PR nightmare. Social media exploded with claims that Zegler didn't value Snow White's rich history or understand its groundbreaking significance. Fans and critics accused her of dismissing the very movie that helped create Disney's empire and revolutionized animation forever. Zegler's controversial comments, describing the 1937 classic as antiquated and unsuitable for modern audiences, sparked outrage. She advocated for removing what she deemed archaic storylines, claiming the new Snow White needed more autonomy and power, even suggesting she should slay her own dragons. While some applauded this evolution, many fans saw it as an insult to the original. Critics weren't kind either. They questioned Disney's decision to cast an actress who seemed to disdain the very narrative she was hired to represent. And as Zegler's comments continued to fuel the fire, her name became synonymous with controversy. But this wasn't just about Rachel Zegler. This was about Disney itself and its ability, or inability, to respect the legacy of its most cherished stories. For many, Snow White wasn't just a movie. It was a beloved piece of childhood, a cornerstone of Disney's magical heritage. Fans weren't just upset, they were outraged. That outrage spread like wildfire across YouTube, social media, and fan communities. Words like boycott and betrayal dominated discussions as Disney was accused of abandoning its traditions in favor of modern agendas. Leaked details and marketing materials added fuel to the fire. The romantic storyline? Gone. The Seven Dwarfs? Replaced by a diverse group of magical companions. Fans weren't just unhappy with the changes, they were furious about the underlying message. To many, it felt like Disney was saying the magic of the original was no longer relevant. Every new Rachel Zegler interview, every leaked plot detail, and every marketing misstep only deepened the frustration. Viral blogs accused Zegler of being dismissive, even disrespectful, toward the original Snow White. Despite Disney's efforts to manage the chaos, the damage, fans weren't just venting their anger, they were calling for action. But would this outrage stop at words, or was Disney on the brink of a financial catastrophe? Behind the scenes, the controversy was reaching a boiling point. Leaks suggested Disney had completely overhauled the original story, swapping out the Seven Dwarfs for an ensemble of magical companions and pushing a fiercely independent Snow White who broke away from classic fairy tale tropes. While these changes were meant to reflect modern values and avoid stereotypes, they were seen by many as an unnecessary rewrite of a timeless tale. Fans argued that Snow White's charm lay in its innocence, optimism, and the classic battle between good and evil. In their eyes, Disney wasn't modernizing a masterpiece. They were erasing its magic. Stay tuned, because this story is far from over. Is Disney rewriting history, or is it losing the very essence that made its stories legendary? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for the latest updates on this unfolding saga. Snow White remake was supposed to be Disney's next big hit, but what started as a hopeful project quickly spiraled into a battle for its legacy. The wave of backlash wasn't just about a movie. It became a full-blown movement that questioned Disney's direction. Fans didn't just feel disappointed, they felt betrayed. What was once seen as progress was now viewed as nothing more than treachery, as fans noticed a recurring pattern of radical changes to beloved classics, all disguised as modernization. It left many asking, why not create new stories that reflect modern ideals instead of rewriting the classics? The comparisons to controversial remakes like Ghostbusters 2016 and The Little Mermaid 2023 were inevitable, with fans feeling like their cherished memories were being altered. What started as an online uproar quickly became a call for Disney to reconsider its approach. This wasn't just a movie. It was a test of Disney's ability to strike a balance between nostalgia and innovation. But with the outrage growing louder, things were getting worse. Then, a bombshell dropped. Disney's Snow White remake, which had already been under fire for its changes, had a budget that left fans speechless, a staggering $300 million. This was a budget usually reserved for superhero blockbusters or epic CGI spectacles, not a fairy tale about a princess and a wicked queen. Fans were left asking, how did it get so expensive? The costs weren't just financial. Insiders revealed costly reshoots, extravagant sets, and a marketing campaign that only seemed to worsen the reception. The first teaser trailers didn't help. They showcased the film's major changes: Snow White's independence, the absence of the Seven Dwarfs, and a deviation from the classic fairy tale romance. These teasers were met with intense backlash, and fans voiced their concerns in droves across Reddit, Twitter, and YouTube. The comparisons to Ghostbusters 2016 intensified, as fans accused Disney of focusing more on changes than on the heart of the original story. It felt like Disney was completely out of touch with its audience. And then there was Rachel Zegler. Her interviews became viral moments, but not in a good way. Many criticized her comments as dismissive of the original Snow White, adding fuel to the fire. This wasn't just a failure of one movie. It was a disaster that could impact Disney's entire empire. Merchandise, theme park tie-ins, and the live-action remake strategy were all riding on the success of this project. The strain on Disney was palpable. The financial stakes were incredibly high. Could Disney save this project, or has it already lost its magic? With toys and products already in the works, the consequences of a SnowWhite failure could reach far beyond the box office. Retailers depend on Disney films to drive sales, but if customers turn their backs on the remake, unsold merchandise could pile up, clothes, books, and more, collecting dust on shelves. It's a nightmare that Disney can't afford to ignore. The clock is ticking, and the fate of Disney's reputation, its empire, and its legacy hangs in the balance. Will Disney continue to gamble on reimagining its classics, or will the SnowWhite remake mark the beginning of the end for the studio's cherished heritage? Let us know your thoughts below, and stay tuned for updates on this high-stakes showdown. Disney's live-action remake strategy has been a cash cow for over a decade, with hits like The Jungle Book, Beauty and the Beast, and Aladdin raking in billions by capitalizing on nostalgia. But now, fans are growing weary of seeing their childhood classics remade, especially when the heart of the original story feels like it's being sacrificed for modern agendas. If SnowWhite flops, Disney may be forced to rethink everything. Will they double down, hoping to perfect the formula? Or will they pull back, reduce the number of remakes, and focus on creating fresh, original stories? The future of Disney's remake strategy is hanging in the balance, and the pressure is particularly high for Rachel Zegler, whose career is now tied to this controversial project. Will she emerge as a misunderstood genius or become a cautionary tale about the dangers of alienating the fan base? Hollywood can be unpredictable, and history is filled with stars who were derailed by public backlash. Could SnowWhite 2025 serve as the warning that Disney desperately needs? There's no denying it. SnowWhite 2025 is more than just a movie. It's a referendum on Disney's storytelling and creative direction. For decades, Disney has been the company that shaped generations with its enchanting tales. But both fans and critics are questioning if that magic is fading, wondering if Disney is abandoning the timeless appeal of its classics in favor of modern trends. This raises an important question. Should Disney focus on creating new, original stories instead of constantly reimagining beloved ones? Their reliance on remakes suggests a growing hesitation to take creative risks, opting instead to play it safe with nostalgia, even at the risk of alienating their core audience. But the success of films like Moana and Frozen proves that fresh creativity, when done right, can still captivate audiences and bring in massive rewards. If SnowWhite fails, it could mark the end of Disney's live-action remake dominance and send shockwaves through the entire company. The stakes have never been higher, not just for the project itself, but for Disney's entire brand. As the premiere draws closer, Disney is facing a reckoning. Will SnowWhite prove that tradition and innovation can coexist? Or will it serve as a cautionary tale about pushing modernization too far? For Disney, failure is not an option. It could threaten their financial survival. And for Rachel Zegler, whether the film is a success or failure, her future in Hollywood is on the line. Disney's legacy is at stake, and the company built on optimism may find itself fighting for its future. What do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to Daily Finder for the latest celebrity news.